So we're gonna do lesson 76 today, permutations. Before we actually get into the lesson, I need to show you guys something called a factorial. Now, this textbook assumes you already know what that is and know how to solve it, but I don't know that you do, so I'm going to show you. And basically, a factorial is the product of all the lesser positive integers for a given number. Now, that's a lot of weird words. Basically, it's this. 4 factorial. Now, factorial or factorial actually is how you're supposed to say it, is denoted with, oh, my pen was upside down, sorry, with an exclamation point. This is how you're going to write it in mathematics, 4 factorial. And basically, you start at the given number, and you multiply it by every number all the way down to 1. So 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 24. 8 factorial would be 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Now, I don't know how to, not being face-to-face, show you how to do this with a calculator. I know if you have the Texas, or the TI actually is what it's called. If you have the TI, oops, 30X something or other, you have a button that says PRB. And when you press that button, you have 3 options, and the last option is that exclamation point. So if I wanted to enter 8 factorial on this calculator, I would type in my 3. Let me do it a different color so you can tell. I'm going to type in my 3. It's my first button I'm going to press. Then I'm going to type the PRB button, which is a probability button. Then I'm going to scoot over, tab over, and select the exclamation point. Then I'm going to hit equals, and that will put it on the screen, and then you hit equals. So try that, play around on your calculator, see if you can find that. And if not, I can show you maybe next week face-to-face, or actually what I did to find it on this one, because I didn't know how to do it on this calculator, I just Googled solve factorials on, and then I typed in my calculator name, and it was like a 1-minute video to show me how to do it. So 7 factorial, I keep saying it wrong, would be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And if you don't know how to do it on your calculator, you can literally type that in. But like I said a second ago, I would figure that out to save yourself some time, because we're fixing to use that a couple of times in an equation. So the factorial of 7 is 5040. 12 factorial would be 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 all the way down to 1, which gives me, oh my, 479001600. 3 factorial, well, that's real easy. That's 3 times 2 times 1, which is just 6. Okay, so we're going to use that in solving this, what's called permutations. I do need to add in here that 0 factorial, or the factorial of 0, is 1. And the best that I can explain it is because there's only one way to arrange 0 numbers of objects. There's only one way, and that one way is with nothing there. So 0 factorial is 1. So a permutation is just, the textbook says the different arrangement of the same element. So basically, if you're given a set of letters or numbers or things, permutations is how many different combinations you have of rearranging those elements. So if I give you A, B, C, and I take those 3 elements, A, B, and C, and I begin to rearrange them, they could become BAC. They could become CAB, and so on and so forth. And a permutation is trying to figure out, well, not trying to figure out, it is figuring out how many different ways we can take the elements given and rearrange them into a different pattern. So there's a formula that may not make a lot of sense, but the formula is this, hold on, this part right here doesn't matter. This is just like the name of the formula, permutation of N and R. This is the part that you need to remember. N is the number of elements in a set. R is the number you are arranging. Okay, so let me kind of show you what that means in a problem. It says this. How many different ways are there to arrange 4 of the digits from 1 to 9? We're going to use this formula that was given. N factorial over n minus r factorial. So we need to find out what n is, and we need to find out what r is from this equation. So n is the number of elements in the set. So we can use any of the numbers between 1 and 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That means there's 9 elements in the set. R is the number of elements you are arranging. Well, this says how many different ways are there to arrange 4 of the digits. So I'm going to work with 4 numbers, but they can be any one of the 9 numbers. And so now I'm going to plug this into this equation. So permutations is n factorial. We figured out 9 was n over n minus r, so 9 minus 4 factorial. I'm just plugging everything into this formula. And now I'm going to solve it. Now your textbook shows you what they say is a little bit of a faster way to do this. Okay, first of all, remember to solve inside your parentheses first. So 9 factorial is 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 5 factorial is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we know that anything on top of each other, it cancels out. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 over 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 cancels out. And I'm left with 9 times 8 times 7 times 6. And because I know the answer, it's 3024. Now let's do several of these, all right? So here's another example. How many different ways can you arrange 3 wires if you have 6 different pieces of wire? So here's our equation, or our formula. N factorial over n minus r factorial. Remember, n is the number of elements in the set. R is the number of elements that you are working with. So the total number in the set, I have a total of 6 wires. So 6 factorial, n equals 6. R is the number that you are working with, and I'm only working with 3 wires. So R is 3. N is the number of you have altogether. R is the number you're working with. So n factorial over, let me fix that, it's not like a parenthesis, it looks like a 1. N factorial, oh goodness, over n minus r factorial. Now remember, we have to do our parentheses first, so 6 factorial over 3 factorial. And let's list this out. 6 factorial, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 factorial is 3, oops, 3, 2, 1. Now this 3, 2, 1 and this 3, 2, 1 cancel out. So all I have to do is multiply 6 times 5 times 4, which is 120. Now if I didn't want to do all of this, I could just type that in my calculator just like this. Just make sure you use another set of parentheses around this. Otherwise it will read that second factorial separate. And there you go, 120. So this problem says you have 11 sizes of wire. How many different ways are there to arrange the 11 sizes? All right, n is the number of elements in the set. Well, I have 11 numbers in the set. R is the numbers that we're going to work with. I can use all 11, so I end up with 11 there. So n factorial, which is 11 factorial, over n minus r factorial gives me 11 factorial over 0 factorial. And remember, 0 factorial is equal to 1. So really what I have is 11 factorial, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which gives me, goodness, this is a big number, 3, oh, hold on, let me write it down a little bit, 3, 9, 9, 1, 6, 8, 0, 0, I believe. 399168800. There we go. That is how many different ways you can use those 11 wires. Using only 2 letters from A, E, I, O, and U, how many different arrangements can you get? So in the number of elements in the set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 in my set, but the number of elements I'm going to be arranging are only 2. So 5 factorial over 5 minus 2 factorial, which is 5 factorial over 3 factorial. And if I write them out, these cancel, and I'm left with 5 times 4, which is 20. I would really like for you to try this one on your own and then come back and check it. So I'm going to wait just a second for you to try it. All right. Pause it if you're not done, because that was not a very long pause, but then I realized you can pause your video. I'm kind of silly. So, Sarah has 4 pictures framed. She wants to put 3 on her wall. How many different ways can she arrange them? So I have 4 in my set. I'm going to be using 3 of them. So 4 factorial, 4 minus 3 factorial, which is 4 factorial over 1 factorial, which is just 4 factorial, because 1 factorial is 1 and that doesn't change anything. So 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 24. There are 24 ways she can arrange her pictures on her wall. All right, you guys have an online quiz to do for homework today.